Okay, so just leaving the main office, going over to to do two things really. I'll film a video for the John Deere how-to video of how to import shapefiles, and I also need to check software on that because there was some errors importing, but they still worked. So we just need to figure out why that was. So just need to get the software built for that. And then we've got an Agrifac, not Condor, Agrifac Endurance on PWM that we tried the file in, also running John Deere. We tried the file in, but it just didn't work. What happened was it would work for like 30 seconds and then it would then just randomly turn nozzles on and off and not do what we wanted. So spoke to the guys at Agrifac and they've updated a few bits and changed some settings on the back end. So we're going to go and try that out and see how it goes. So whilst we're heading there, just a little bit about what I do. I'm self-employed. I've got my own limited company. Started that last year. It's less than a year old, but I've been involved with precision for a number of years. So just trying to build up a bit of a presence online and hopefully help some people along the way, because a lot of people want to do precision on farms but don't necessarily know the correct way of going about it or what's out there and what's achievable. So I've got an agronomic background as well. I've got my basis in facts, so my ethos is sort of precision agronomy, so and business related. So we want to improve the bottom line for farmers because margins are tight. So if we can save inputs by precision, pay for them with that, that'll then help the bottom line, help the business grow and be more sustainable. And at the same time, if we can get better yields from it and better quality, then we'll do that as well. It's not all about yields. Well, it is about yields, but the main thing that makes a business grow is profitability. So you might have really high yields, but if all your inputs are massively high and everything else is expensive, there's no point doing it. So the drone stuff's really cool because it's a really clear objective of saving money, and the Carbon Bee stuff. So I'll do some videos on Carbon Bee. So I'm a dealer for spot spraying, so the Carbon Bee spot spraying system is really cool. So I'll do some videos on that. They're really good, clear things to save money. You put it on the sprayer, it costs a lot of money, but you'll start saving 80-90% of your chemical costs. That's 80-90% of one cost that's one of the biggest costs on the farm that's reduced. That immediately, if that's like $100,000 bill that's reduced down to 20 or 30 grand, that's a lot of money going back in the business at the end of the day. So that's what we're trying to achieve. So we're on the way to customer now, and we're gonna do a couple of things. Check the John Deere screen software version for the guys that I'm working with, just to check some stuff. And then we're also going to have a play with the Agrifac and make sure that we can do spot spraying with it, which we should be able to. It's got individual nozzle PWM control, so we should be able to easily do what we want with that. Okay, let's go see if we can do a little video on this 340M John Deere. could be an issue. Okay, right, we've acquired keys. So let's do the software check first, and then I'll show you how to drop the USB. That's not good. Where did that go? Quite low light, hopefully this picks it up alright. So, okay, road mode is active, okay. So, we're at the sprayer now. So, this is how you import a shapefile via USB. So, on the bottom right on the back, there is 2 USB slots, one USB 2, one USB 3, I think, if I am correct. So, you're going to have to put your USB in, which I've just done. Then in a moment it will recognise that it's got a USB in there. So it's basically going to say what would you like to do. We can either import the data, export the data, or install software. So we are going to click import data. So I'm going to click next. We've got Gen 4 unassigned data on, so we're going to click that. And we've got an RX prescription in that shapefile, and I'm going to click next again, or import. So this happened before, which is why I'm here checking the software build. So it says view errors, missing numeric valid numeric rate column, which we do have because we've checked these files and they are correct. So we're going to click OK on that. OK on that. That's going to take us back here, but we do know that the files are in there. So I'm going to go setup, and then what I'm going to do is go target rate, where it says target rate. So this is for any shapefile or anything you're bringing into the John Deere screens. You'll go to the setup part on the bottom left, and then where it says target rate RX, RX is like their prescription files, so how they put their prescription files into the screen. So I'm going to click, at the minute it's set to controller rate, so if I change the rate on the sprayer it will control it, but I want the plan, or the shapefile that I'm importing, I want that to control it. So I'm going to go click on target rate RX, and then I'm going to click RX and then press in there. That will then find my file, which it has, so I'm going to click on that, then I'm going to click OK. So because this is a very large shapefile containing like a spot spray map, it takes a couple of minutes just to convert the prescription over, so I'll pause the video and then restart in a sec. But what it will do is it will churn away, convert the shapefile into what is usable for the John Deere, and then we'll be ready to go. And there's a couple more setup bits which I'll go through as well, which I didn't really go through in the last video, so hopefully this one's a little bit better. We'll try again. Okay, so it's finished churning away. It was only maybe a minute or two. So on this particular bit of setup, there's a few settings that you can change, and in the last video I just sort of rushed through these and didn't really explain what they do. So in this video we're going to try and make it a little bit better.
It's amazing. You are 100% wrong.
Yep, so screwed that up again on the on the video. So the look ahead time is how far the sprayer will look ahead of where it is. So for example, it basically changes your reaction time of your nozzles coming on and off. That's the best way of describing it. So if I'm coming into work, say for example I'm coming into my headland or something like that, if my look ahead time is further ahead, then my sprayer will react sooner. So for example, if you're coming into headland work and your sprayer turns off too soon, the likelihood is that your look ahead time is probably set too high. But in this case we're going to keep it the same because it's set up for the sprayer. Multiply basically does what it says on the tin. It multiplies all the rates by a certain percentage. So for example, if you put in 120%, that would increase all of the rates by 20%. So this was relevant for like variable rate seed or for So in a seed scenario, it might be that you had a rate at the beginning of the season, now it's getting a bit later and you want to counteract weed and slug pressure and bits like that and just increase the rate across all of your zones. The rate column allows you to check which rate you want to use, so they might have a shapefile with a target rate of 200 or 300, like mid-season, late-season rates, so you can go in there and pick which rate you want to use. In this case, we've only got one rate of 200 litres, so that's what that does. And then the next function along is the rate column unit, so litres per hectare, kilos per hectare. The no GPS rate is basically what happens if you lose GPS. Do you want to maintain the rate or select a certain rate to use? And then the out of zone rate is more for like variable rate fertilizers and seed. If your variable rate file doesn't match with your boundary, for example, like you've got a bit missing on the headland, what do you want it to do? When it doesn't have a rate, do you want it to just go to 0, or do you want to set a certain rate for it to use? So that's where you'd plug in that figure. Okay, the multiple rate selection menu basically allows you to decide what happens when there are 2 rates or multiple rates over a section of boom or over your spreader or something like that. So the highest rate will use the highest rate that it sees. So if it's got 100 kilos, 200 kilos, it will use 200. Lowest rate will use the lowest rate over the split. The common rate will use the most common. So for example, if you've got a sprayer doing 100 litres, 100 litres, 200 litres, it will use 100 litres. And the average rate will basically use the average across all of the different zones or rates across the boom to make a decision on what it does.
Wait, what?
Okay, so that's our file, so we can import that. So hopefully that's a bit better than what I did last time. You'll have to just say in the comments if it's still crap, but hey ho, it is what it is.
That's very disrespectful.
So now if we zoom out a bit, we should be able to see the field. Where's that going to be? It's going to be behind us. So you can see where we were playing around last time with it. So last time we played around with this file. It worked pretty good. There's a few sort of misses there, but bearing in mind they're very small, this is a very, very complex file, so the sprayer handled it really well. So one of the other things that we can do as well is, which I sort of didn't explain very well in the last video as well. So this rate, this map is set for 200 litres a hectare. We just saw that. So our target rate is set in here in this icon below the John Deere sprayer icon. So if we click on that, so the target rate is set for 300 at the minute, but that's what the sprayer is set up for. If we want to make sure that we're using the shapefile, we go into external target rate source, and then we're going to go to the app map, the application map. So if we click on that, that should then default to 200, and because we're out of the field and we're not got anything running, that's why it's gone to 0. So we'll go to none, and then that goes back to, we want to be on 300. So in the other video, whilst we were in the field, that then defaulted to 200, and I'll put a clip in now of that just so you can see it. So that'll go in now. Okay, so yeah, you've seen that clip. Hopefully that explains it, and that's basically how to import stuff into the John Deere terminal. It's quite a nice little screen setup, nice little sprayer setup, and yeah, hope that helps. was a bit of an anticlimax. It started off looking really good, and then yeah, same error we had before. The sort of can't handle something and then starts to just default to turning random nozzles on and off. Well, the sprayer can handle it. We know the sprayer can handle it. So it's just settings or something which we need to figure out. So we'll go back another day. Agrifac are helping us out. The techs have been out. They changed some settings. We had where a guy who used to work for Agrifac helped us out the first time, and he gave us some settings to try, which we did. And then the next set of settings we couldn't access. We needed to have the factory guys there to do that. So they did that on Tuesday, and yeah, it started out really well. You'll see the video. I'll put the video up in a moment. So yeah, started to work really well. We were just sort of going for it. This Agrifac's 36 metre endurance with individual nozzle PWM. So I think it's got like 144 nozzles on PWM, Agrifac's own PWM system. So Agrifac have their own spot spray system anyway, and out in Australia and bits like that, they're doing spot spray stuff with Agrifac. So we know that it will work. We just need to figure out a couple more bits, and then we'll have it working. So it's the file that we're using is very, very hefty. Like, it's a really in-depth shape file, so we are really testing it. But you could get scenarios like that in real life. Well, it is real life. We flew it and mapped all the weeds with it, so that is a real life situation. So the leak field that I'll do a video on the leak field. I've said that before. That'll be next week. We're in that field, so we're going to be flying that. We've already flown it. We've mapped the weeds. We've mapped the crop. Doing a crop only spray, and then what we'll do, we'll put some water in the tank. They might even just go for it and do it properly, but to test it and bits like that, we're going to put water in the tank probably and go and spray that. So I think the weed savings on those, the leek and the Cavallonero field, was about I think it was 80 something percent on the Cav, and then it was 91 or 92% on the leeks, so massive savings on that. In the Cavallonero field we flew, and we were able to get the crop only spray. So because it's on beds, we can do crop only, and it will just spray the crop basically, so you're not spraying and wasting chemical on soil, which it's not going to have any effect on anything. So like fungicides, insecticides and bits like that, we're saving about 30% on every pass. So if they're doing that 3 or 4 times a season, yeah, it's pretty good. It'll make sure that we're able to do that. So they'll be saving quite a lot of money on that. So we'll film that. I'll get the drone up for that. We'll have some cameras set up, and yeah, hopefully we'll have a nice little video on how that looks and how that works and how it works out. So we'll have to come back to the Agrifac. So it's one of those things with precision, you just got to keep trying stuff, and luckily the guys that I work with, the farm there, are really understanding, and they're not pushing for stuff. It's us just making sure that stuff can work. And that's another thing, is just making sure this sort of stuff works. You don't just go into it. So it's just a case of trial and error, like it is with a lot of precision stuff. You put something on, it doesn't quite work, so you've got to try something else. So it's just a bit frustrating sometimes when you want to crack on, but yeah, these things happen.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Yeah, we managed to get the software build for the guys that needed it, just to know what to fix on that end, whether it's a bug or something like that, so they can figure that out. So yeah, that's that. So we'll head home. We'll try the Agrifac another day. That might need, I think it's either going to need a software update, which they might be coming back to do, or worst case scenario, it needs some sort of hardware update, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So yeah, I'm on the way now to lorry yard just to pick up my flask that I dropped out of the lorry the other day, which is quite handy. It's a good flask as well, so I don't want to lose it, so I'm going back to grab that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. The not next week, but the week after is Agritechnica. So I'm going to go to Agritechnica and film some bits, just some general footage. There'll be a few stands that I go to that I will be filming and speak to people, because one, I'm interested in it, and two, I think you guys might be, and three, I sell some of their stuff, so it'd be good to do. We're going to do some videos coming up on Carbon Bee spot spraying. I'm a UK dealer for that, so we'll be getting our demo kit rigged up, getting that working, then going out on farms demoing that, so you can save a lot of money on chemicals on that. I'll be doing drone flights. I'm going to do a video on the drone that I use and how that's used in agriculture, how to set up a flight and bits like that. So hopefully there's some interesting stuff coming in the videos, and yeah, if you like it, then subscribe,